Alright guys, what's going on? We've got the fourth war of Season 38 here, and today LVT is going to be facing X5e, and their bans are Torch, APOC, and CGR, which I think are strong bans. They're pretty common in some combination this season. CGR because he is a sick and tired attacker, and he is very strong. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Omegas here, Red and Sentinel, and join, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at their map. Okay, so in section 1 here, I'm going to be starting off on path 1, and I'm doing that because there are 2 mutants here, and I brought in Omega Sentinel for them. So, taking a look around here, I'm trying to see if anything stands out as being like particularly tricky. I don't think so, at least not yet. Null and Arcus paired up on path 9 is a little bit redundant, I think. They're doing that to try to make sure that people don't ghost that lane. Man-Thing on 23 is something that I have not seen before. Again, with like the Spidey ban, I'm not 100% sure that's the greatest placement, but there is an argument for it, and I'll make that because I'm going to be taking that fight. Idoom on 24, Buffet, that's actually a really easy fight for Gallon. So I'm not sure that I understand why he is necessarily there either. Spot on path 5 in section 2. That was the first time that we've seen Spot on defense. Pretty good placement. And then, okay, so here we have Gore and Wiccan on path 9 in section 2. Both of those fights are super ghostable, so I'm not sure. I feel like maybe they should have put like, they should have switched some of the placements on path 9 in section 1. That would have kind of ghost-proofed both of those lanes a little bit better. And then here we've got a Gallon boss. You know, pretty straightforward. There are lots of counters for him. Okay, so on path 1 here, Magneto. He is a conduit defender. I'm going to select the heal block debuff. Yeah, the heal block pre-fight for Omega Sentinel here, and I'm just going to fight him like normal. Omega Sentinel and Nimrod are 2 tech attackers who can't have their ability accuracy reduced by mutants. So putting a mutant on, like, first of all, they completely counter Magneto. You can't use a Nimrod against Magneto this season, though, because of Conduit. But there are a couple of nodes on the map that counter, or that reduce your ability accuracy. And putting a mutant on there is just never a great idea because of Nimrod and Omega Sentinel. So, alright, just gonna go ahead, and I'm having a hard time landing my parries here. The re-parries are fine, but my parry timing is just off. Here I'm just gonna keep refreshing my heal block. You can see that he can't heal back any of that plasma damage. Even with Conduit, he can't. So, just going to go ahead and throw another special 2. And this is pretty much gonna kill him. Yeah, he's just gonna drop. So, super easy fight. I do love Omega Sentinel. I've had her for so long. I didn't used to like using her. I kind of felt like unsafe with her, but now I like using her a lot, and I try to bring her as often as I can. So here, Apocalypse on Masochism over time. So I'm not sure that this is the greatest placement either. The only argument that I think could be made for it is that it kind of quake-proofs this node, although we learned a couple wars ago you don't necessarily want to be quaking this node anyway. Nimrod can take him. Maybe they were trying to like bait someone into using a Nimrod for that Magneto, which wouldn't be a good idea. And then also Omega Red counters Masochism, but you cannot use Omega Red against Apocalypse. So those are the arguments I could see for this placement. Again, I don't necessarily think it's like, you know, the greatest, but I'm glad he was here. It made my life a little bit easier with planning. So here, just going to keep refreshing my heal block. When you pause your debuffs with Omega Sentinel, it doesn't reapply them. Like with Diablo, in his special 2, it refreshes all of his poisons. That can get taken away because of masochism, like it reapplies his poisons, but with Omega Sentinel, that doesn't happen. So right there I triggered parry before I threw my special 3 so that my debuffs would stick. I didn't want masochism to take away my plasma debuffs, and then I'm just going to come out of the special 3. He's ticking for quite a bit, and just going to tap him once to get him down. And then this fight here, this is a Sasquatch on node 20. Usually you see champions here that benefit from like an armor buff, but I'm not sure why Sasquatch is here. But either way, Omega Red just makes pretty much any non-robot on any masochism fight kind of a joke. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock in my spores. You can see we're about 20 seconds into the fight. He's at 50%. Lock in the spores again here. Just gonna bait out the special 2. And right there I'm gonna eat a heavy attack for some reason. I don't know. I think it just caught me off guard. Some of those quick heavy attacks catch me off guard a little bit. And then right here I'm just gonna throw my special 1 to try to heal up a little bit. Maybe save a potion. Okay, and then moving on here, let's see, throw on an invulnerability boost, and I'm going to take this man thing. So I think Spidey 2099 is probably a better option for this fight, especially with the sick and tired tactic. He can block unblockable attacks. Man thing can't apply his pustules to Spidey because they're buffs, so MD will never come into play. So the argument that I can see for placing Man-Thing here is because it's power focus 2 and he applies buffs to you, you're almost guaranteed to take a special 3 in this fight. And right there, I lose 2 hits of my invulnerability boost. Gonna go ahead and lock in my spores. You can see this fight takes a little bit longer. Okay, so right there, he's going to tap me twice, of course, because of bubble shield. So I lose my invulnerability boost. I'm going to eat the special 3. Luckily, it doesn't hit super hard. I think I might have even put on like a special 3 defense boost here. And, okay, here we go. Going to lock in spores. And I could eat another special 3, but here I'm just going to try to kill him with my special 2, and it does end up killing him. So, yeah, not a hard fight. I think I would rather fight him there than Nick Fury just because of the second life, but neither are particularly difficult. Okay, here we have Toad on EMP modification, path 2 in section 2, and this is a pretty good placement because usually you'd want to use Nimrod for Toad, but Nimrod gains a ton of buffs and he's not shock immune. So Omega Red, the idea here is basically to just kill this guy before he ever gets to throw a special. EMP modification triggers when the defender throws their special attack, you get shocked. But I'm just not gonna let Toad throw his special attack. You can see that was super straightforward, 30 seconds and he's dead. And next up, I'm going to use an advanced power boost here for this Korg. This is a rank 4 Sig 200 Korg, which is why I came over here instead of just having somebody else do it. And this is, you're going to see, like, I think Korg is a great defender in Battlegrounds. In Alliance War, I think he's countered by so many different champions that it's hard to make him like a really effective defender on almost any node here. So here I'm going to go ahead and throw my special 2. 20 seconds into the fight, he's at like 30%. Lock in my spores here. And he's just going to die. So that was like a 28-second fight. Very straightforward. Here I'm just going to move up, share some energy so that my battle group mate later can take that King Groot. And then I'm going to take this thing on the Stun Reflect mini. This used to be really common placement. I don't remember why people stopped placing him here. I think that there might just be better places for him in general. But you can fight him with a lot of different champions. You can use like Valkyrie, you can use Falcon, you can use Omega Red, you can use tons of different champions here for him. The one thing that kind of feels dangerous about him here is that a lot of times when I'm trying to like use dexterity against like his medium dash attack to bait out a special, a lot of times I end up parrying. So you can see I like hold block a lot more than normal. Like it's hard to stay open against him. So here, just gonna hit his block a couple times, get him to 15 rock stacks, and then here he's gonna get super annoying. He's not gonna wanna throw this special too. I'm gonna get cornered. And yeah, you can see here I'm just trying to dex in the corner, bait out the special too. Kind of thinking like, okay, well my spores will kill him eventually. Here he finally throws, I'm going to counter his special 2 with my heavy attack, and that's going to end the fight. So that's it for me. 7 fights this war. And let's go ahead and look at the war highlights before we go over the results. So Taters does this spotlight thing, and if like there were any big accomplishments in the war, he puts those people's names on here just to kind of recognize them. And CIPW, Water, Wes, Pete, and myself all had 7 fights and didn't die. So amazing war to those guys. Wes and Pete are both in my battle group. They are amazing players, super skilled, and obviously Pete has his ghost this season, so trying to give him as many fights as possible. And then you can see here my battle group ended up beating their battle group 4-2. And normally I would say that this is good or that I was happy with this result. But I'm not happy with this, and you're going to see why in a second. But I actually, the 2 deaths that we had were a planning error on my part. I don't know why. I kind of overlooked an interaction, and it ended up costing us 2 deaths. And that hurts because you can see that we lost by 2 deaths. We died 8 times, they died 7 times, and if we would have died 1 less time, we would have tied them, and then they would have won on time. So, yeah, basically that 1 planning error ended up costing us this war. Feels horrible. I just need to get back on track and, talk to Taters a bunch about just like simplifying matchups, not trying to get too fancy with things. So yeah, great war to these guys. Hopefully we get to match them again and beat them next time, because we are definitely better than giving up 8 deaths in a war. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.